Well, hello, and thanks for watching another episode of ARFCOM Breaking News, your source for the absolute finest two-way propaganda. Now, I don't know if it ends today, but it certainly changes, I guess. You guys will remember back in July, there was an incident at an Air Force base where an airman lost his life, allegedly due to an M18 uncommanded discharge, but it turns out things weren't quite the way we thought they were at first. Following that incident, the Air Force inspected all of the M18 pistols under the Global Strike Command. That's the nuke jockeys. And they found that of the 7,970 M18s in inventory, 191 had what they described as discrepancies. Most of the discrepancies revolved around the safety lever, the striker assembly, and the sear. Those pistols were, of course, pulled from service and repaired, but that amounts to approximately a 2% failure rate, which is pretty profound when you're talking about safety-related issues. So now it turns out 2 airmen pleaded guilty to providing false information regarding that incident. It turns out they now claim that Marcus White Allen was not setting his pistol down on a desk when it discharged, but instead was intentionally pointing it at the other airman in a joking manner when it discharged. For his part, White Allen was arrested on charges of making a false statement, of course, and involuntary manslaughter, but he was found dead on October 8th. There are no more details surrounding the circumstances of his passing, but if we were to get speculative, I think we can make some guesses as to why. The 2 airmen who lied about the incident were sentenced to 30 days in confinement and forfeiture of $1,545 and 10 days in confinement, 15 days restriction to base, and forfeiture of $500, respectively. Does this absolve SIG of their part in all of this? No, I mean, I don't think so, not really. Ultimately, it was one incident, and it turns out that it didn't happen, but the mechanical problems behind it are all still there. Remember, the Air Force did conduct their investigation, and they did find 2% of pistols were not safe to be issued. So it's hard to say exactly where things are sitting with the 320 and the M18 right now. I would love to hear your comments down there in the doobly-doo, of course. But it would be impossible for us to produce quality two-way propaganda without sponsors. So let's pay some bills. Today's video is sponsored by Hornady.
The 338 Advanced Rifle Cartridge. Purposefully designed for hard-hitting subsonic performance, the 338R delivers 1.5 times more energy than the 300 Blackout subsonic. Featuring the 307-grain Sub-X bullet in the subsonic line and the 175-grain hollow point in Hornady Black. The big little cartridge that packs a punch. The 338 ARC from Hornady.
So the feds have arrested 5 people out of Dearborn, Michigan they accuse of doing a terrorism, or planning to do a terrorism, or something like that. And being Dearborn, Michigan, it's not exactly shocking, but on the other side of it, the feds are not really making with a lot of details about this whole thing. Reading through the court filing, there's lots and lots and lots of words, but not a lot of specific accusations. It comes down to the feds say, oh, these guys were working with ISIS. But when you dig into it, they really don't give much in the way of details about what they accuse these guys of actually doing. The one crime, that one actual crime that's listed is transferring a firearm to someone you think might be about to do a terrorism. None of the other stuff that they allege is actually even a crime. They say, oh, well, these guys had some guns. They said that they have a GoPro. And of course, everybody knows that only people who are about to do a terrorism could possibly have a GoPro. And they say they got a bunch of guns and they went to a gun range. And the problem is that pretty much all the behavior that they're talking about in this court filing is stuff that you do and stuff that I do. They said some spicy things online, and they went to the range and they shot some guns, and oh my word, oh, there it is. They had an FRT. Call me crazy. Maybe I got my tinfoil screwed on a little too tight, but it really seems like the feds are not so much trying to build a case against real legitimate terrorists as they are against the FRT. I think they're looking for a reason to ban the FRT. Hey, we're in Mandalay Bay, why not here? I don't know, it's hard to trust the feds on anything. They do have a legitimate need to protect the intel channels that they use to get the actual terrorists, I guess. But at the same time, the feds have been caught lying so many times in the past, over and over and over, and they've been caught instigating crimes where there wasn't really a crime to begin with. So I don't know what to think on this. I would love to hear your thoughts down there in the doobly-doo. Well, I got some quick gun industry news for you. Primary Arms dropped a new scope. It's a 2-to-12 variable with a 40mm objective lens, and it uses the Nova reticle. That LED Nova fiber reticle is pretty darn cool because it gives you the brightness of a red dot sight in an etched reticle. You could pick up one of these new scopes for, I don't know, 400 Halloween candy razor blades or something like that. Let's check in on the forums real quick. There's a thread in GD wondering why ham radio is dying. The consensus seems to be it's the fault of sad hams. Their gatekeeping has sucked all the fun out of the hobby, and it's keeping away anybody new from getting interested in the hobby. I wonder if we could draw any parallels between sad hams preventing new people from getting into ham radio and grumpy old men making it no fun to get into the shooting sports. Nah, there's probably no connection there. You folks will remember that last week in GD, all the Chicken Littles were saying that there were going to be riots when the food stamps ran out and all the EBT recipients couldn't get their lobster tails or whatever it is that they do. But it turns out the food stamps ran out and, well, there weren't any riots. Things went on as normal. The first of the month came and went, and the riots did not appear. Well, friends, thanks for watching, and if you would like to help us keep delivering you pure American people at a low price of don't forget that we literally couldn't pay the bills without our sponsors, so do us a solid and get yourself something nice from them. You deserve it. I love you.